holy shit, like, we're about to have a baby today. Like, this is it. She just broke your water. Like, this is it. What? Like, give me, like, one more day. Hold on. But,
you probably would have liked the extra day, too.
just, like, a little more, like, whoa.
Give me one more day.
One more day.
Don't come out yet.
All aboard! It's time for Choo with Jay Shurga.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another ride of Choo Choo. Today I am joined by one very special guest. To my right, your left if you're watching on YouTube, we have Marat Lozhkin, who just happens to be one of my best friends. Marat, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here right now. Let's go, guys. Excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Marat to be here. He's been asking me to be on the podcast for quite some time, and we just made this decision like 2 days ago, but hey, we made it happen.
Yeah.
So here he is. Or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, yeah.
This was very short notice.
I don't get out much. This is nice. Nice privilege.
He's a man that has a family. So.
That's right. I'm trapped at home. Help me. Help me.
Family first.
Yeah.
But so Marat has a very interesting life story. So there's a lot I want to talk to him about here, some funny, some serious. But I just want to get to the beginning of your life, Marat. So
Oh, boy.
Marat is an immigrant from Ukraine. I like how he laughs when I say that, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the name Marat Lozhkin.
Yes.
And his deep voice should give it away. But he doesn't like vodka. Or no, that's Russia, right?
No, I just had some really good Ukrainian vodka.
Oh, so they like it in Ukraine too?
Yeah, a couple days ago at my uncle's party. Ooh, it's just imported Ukrainian vodka with some chili powder in it.
That sounds spicy.
Yeah, it spiced it up, a great flavor.
Great.
It actually kind of cleaned it up. It wasn't like that like real like hard vodka taste.
So it tasted good?
Yeah, very good. Surprising. It was
Smooth?
Nice. Yeah, like you take the shot and you're like, oh wow, the flavors.
So you were just ripping shots? Like
Ripping shots. It was great.
That's not like you, I don't think.
I know.
He's never
but
ripping shots.
It tasted nice.
Good for you.
It was beautiful.
Anyway, so yes, Marat is an immigrant from Ukraine. Marat, how old were you when you came over?
I was about 4.5, 5 years old.
So you probably don't remember anything from Ukraine, do you?
Honestly, my first life memory is getting off the plane in New York City and just chaos. And there's just people everywhere, and everyone's just like yelling and scrambling. We just ran to a taxi cab.
And honking.
I fell asleep, and I woke up, and we were in Albany, and my mom's going, what did I do?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy that like you moved over here not even knowing what to expect. Like your parents didn't come and visit before they moved, right?
Yeah. Like we didn't have anything, so they just like we landed here. We had help at this one apartment. We had a couple nice couples that were helping us that like get established with paperwork and all that because we were refugees, and then we moved to Albany.
Yeah. So to rewind a little bit, what was the reason for coming to the United States?
Oh, the Soviet Union fell. That's why.
Okay, so like,
That's why. So a lot of the Jews escaped. They left.
so was your family like in danger if they stayed?
I mean, not really at this point because Gorbachev took over. You know, a lot of countries were able to get their independence, like Ukraine. They weren't a part of the Soviet Union anymore. You know, they were just Ukraine.
Right. So your parents, like, how old were they?
I think my mom was probably like 25, 26. My father was, 30.
Wow, that's crazy. Just coming over here, like, so like,
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
so before they came over, they already had a place to live, like it was set in stone.
Yeah, basically, this place in Albany on Livingston Ave. I don't know if you're familiar with Albany, New York, but
The capital of New York.
yeah, the capital. It's an area. It's a rough area. Yeah. We lived there with there was a couple other Ukrainian couples there. Learned how to ride a bike there.
Did all the Ukrainian couples live together, or like separate apartment type thing?
Separate apartments. Yeah. It's an apartment complex. But yeah, and then we moved to Latham.
That's crazy. They're like moving into a place you don't even know what it looks like or anything like that. Like,
Yeah. It was scary. It was a weird time. But we got settled.
Hey, you learned how to ride a bike.
Yeah, learn how to ride a bike. Exactly.
So you said before, like, you guys came over here with nothing, right?
Yeah.
So like, when you say nothing, you mean like actually nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
No
We
money,
had-
nothing.
Yeah, I had like hand-me-down clothes and all that. My parents were doing their thing though. They always worked. Like my dad drove a taxi cab in Italy, things like that. So
So like, did they have jobs lined up when they got here, or they had to figure out once they got
I
here?
think they figured it out once they got here. Yeah, which they figured it out quick because they're workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you moved to Latham, and then You were like when
That's
you were
it. It's a wrap. Now I'm here.
yeah, but when you were a kid in school, like growing up, like you were still like not a U.S. citizen, right? Or you were?
No, I didn't become a U.S. citizen till I was about 13 or 14.
Does it
Like,
take
officially,
that, does
but
it
we
take
were.
that long?
Yeah, it took a while. My parents had to go through the studying and pass the tests, and then we just automatically, as children, became citizens through them.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was funny actually. We got, like, I guess it was like an inauguration, like welcome to the country. So it was a bunch of different immigrants that were getting their citizenship at the time at Albany Academy, and we're standing there, and they're just, it's like this big deal, and they're like, "Welcome to America." But at this point, I'm Americanized, so I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So I remember that was funny.
Wow, that's kind of cool. So, but you guys came in like the actual like legal way, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
when you do that, like that's still crazy to me that it takes so long to become a citizen, even when you come in that way.
Paperwork. It's all just
Yeah.
paperwork, You're in there and you have to like prove yourself, and
Government's
that's
always
how it should
behind that
be.
paperwork too.
Oh yeah. It's a privilege to be able to come here and move.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
totally. So when you were 4 or 5 years old or whatever, when you came over, did you know any English?
A little bit from my mom, but not really. So I had to learn it. I know kindergarten was kind of rough.
Wow, so you were in kindergarten like not knowing anything.
I learned English though. They taught me the alphabet, so I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
When you're that young, it's easier.
Well, they also say English is pretty easy to learn, I think, too, right?
The English is tough.
Really?
Oh yeah, think about it. There, and there.
Oh yeah.
Where, and where.
Wow.
Oh man,
Wow.
two, and
Wow.
there's a bunch of words that are just spelled differently, and
like or an or.
or
That was the first one I could think of.
rhetoric. That's an RH.
What's a rhetoric?
What about motion? My kids are learning SH sounds, right? So
Yeah.
shh. But I'm like, okay, now spell motion. MOSHON. And I'm like, nope.
I would have thought that too.
And I wrote it down for them, MOTION. And they're like, what?
Motion?
Right.
That's a good point.
tough
Wow,
language.
English must be hard.
Yeah.
I took Mandarin in college.
Really?
Yeah, I made it. I didn't make it through the semester. I stopped showing up too.
You know
like,
anything?
halfway
Did you
through.
retain any?
No.
I want to learn that. That's a cool language.
I know one thing from Japanese from a foreign exchange student back in high school, and there's two different ways to say it: "Watashi wa baka" and "Atana wa baka."
Oh, what's that?
I forget which one is which. One means you're an idiot, and I think the other one was I'm an idiot.
Watashi wa nabaka?
Watashi wa baka.
Ooh.
Baka is idiot.
Watasha wa baka.
Watashi wa.
Watashi wa baka.
Watashi wa baka.
Watashi wa baka.
I think that means I am. I think it's Atana wa baka.
Oh, Atana wa baka.
That sounds kind of cool, right?
Atana wa baka. That's great.
I want to go to Japan and just walk around and say that.
Absolutely.
All right, so yeah, you became a citizen like 13, everything like that. So you learned English really early, and then the rest of school was just easy for you, pretty much. Like you're American.
Yeah, just
basically.
American. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, my next question here was your earliest memory, but you already told me that.
Yeah. That's
So
literally my first memory.
That's crazy that it's in America and that you remember nothing from Ukraine.
Yeah, it's like my life started right when I got off the plane. It's like, oh,
Any desire to ever go
Marat
back?
is here for you.
Yeah, Marat is here for you. Any desire to ever go back to Ukraine?
I mean, yeah, I definitely want to go and visit.
Probably be cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think right now is a good time though.
Right now, you can't.
Oh, you can.
No, it's a war. It's like war. I don't think you can. You might be able to, but like, dude,
You wouldn't
who
want
wants
to.
to fly into a war?
Yeah.
A country that's being invaded.
You're flying into the airport and you see.
Yeah, like right now is not a good time to go to Israel.
Oh, that either.
Got some family there, but
Jesus.
yeah,
Oh, that's because you're Jewish, right?
Jewish.
Yes. No, that wasn't a joke. That's
Yeah.
your family.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so. Oh yeah, now you mentioned your kids, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I always like to ask people because it's really cool. So like people always say like you'll never really understand how much you love a kid until you like actually have that child.
Yeah.
So like, what was your reaction when you first found out that Sarah, his wife, was pregnant?
That was.
Were you scared?
I had so many different feelings at the same time. Like I was like nauseous, excited, happy, kind of sad. Like I was everything at once. I'm like, and then I was excited too. You know what I mean? It
When
was
you're an emotional guy too.
Well, and
Very emotional.
I wasn't treating it like a big. She's like, oh, I missed my period, and I was like, oh, it's no big deal. It's
Oh,
no
so
big
you weren't
deal.
planning.
And then I told my sister, and then my sister was like, you need to take a pregnancy test. And then I was like, oh my God, she's pregnant. Like I knew it. And then what happened was my sister came over with my nephew, and I took him to the playground. Her and Sarah stayed back, and then I get back. I didn't think anything of it. She's like, oh, my grandma called. It's just, you gotta come in here. You gotta see this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I walked in, and all of a sudden she shows me the pregnancy test. I'm like, oh, what? And I like almost passed out. I'm like, oh. But yeah, it's awesome though.
So you weren't planning it.
Yes and no.
You weren't pulling.
We
out.
weren't preventing. We weren't preventing it. No. It was cool. Like I knew, I had already proposed to her and stuff,
Sure.
so it was fine. It made sense.
How was she like being pregnant? Was she a jerk or was she like?
No, she was great.
Because some people could be jerks.
She was a champion.
Really good for her.
That poor woman was pregnant for 2 straight years, basically. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
One after another.
One after another.
So her water break. Where were you when her water broke? Let me guess, working.
That's a whole story too.
You guys got a million stories. I love it.
Because the OBGYN, we're in there and she's getting checked, and like I'm taking a break from work, and she's like in there, and she goes, whoops. And I'm like, did you just break her water? And she's like, I think so.
Oh, so the doctor did it.
Yeah, and she goes, I'll be right back. And she like runs out of there. And then we're like, holy shit, like we're about to have a baby today. Like this is it. She just broke your water. Like this is it. What? Like give me like one more day. Hold on. But
You probably would have liked the extra day too.
just like a little more like, whoa.
Give me one more day.
One more day.
Don't come out yet. Just one more day to prepare.
Yeah, so then she comes back. It was just, I didn't like how it happened. I wanted it to happen like at home. And
Well-
it's like we grab our bags and like.
Wouldn't it be nice too, though, if there was like a way where you knew the water was going to break in like 2 days, then you have like 2 days to like, cool it down.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
You got to have your bag ready, though. You got to have your bag ready.
You see that in movies, right? The water breaks
yeah.
at home, the bag's ready. They
Yes,
grab 'em.
yes.
But you couldn't do that.
I couldn't because we were at the appointment. You know, I don't just travel with all the bags. And, oh, man.
So the lady runs out.
She comes back in. She's like, so I broke your water. And we're like, holy shit. And she's like, oh, no, don't worry. You could just go home, have some lunch.
The voice.
And just, you know, just relax and just head to the hospital in a couple hours. I'm like,
What?
what? She's like, it's no big deal. You're going to be in labor for a long time. And like, holy crap.
Did she really say you could go home and have some lunch?
Yeah. So it's like we went home, grabbed our stuff, and went and, made the calls and went.
Did you have the bag packed?
Yes.
So you went home and grabbed the bag.
Grabbed everything. Yeah. And then just went.
I
Now,
can't believe you didn't go right to the
It
hospital.
was special, though, because at Bellevue is amazing.
I don't know what that is.
The Bellevue, it's a women's hospital.
Ah, okay.
On Route 7. It'd be, I guess, Niskayuna. And wow, beautiful place, just great. It was like special.
But did you have lunch when you went home?
I didn't.
Just go home
We were
and have some
freaking
lunch.
out. She's like, relax. We're like, okay. Ah!
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's
Holy
crazy.
Shit. So then you get to the hospital, and was she in labor for a long time?
Yeah. And then they had to induce her at one point. Like he was just kind of hanging out too long, so they had to push it
Did she poop
I don't know.
during the birth? A lot of
Oh
girls
well,
poop.
it was a C-section.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Oh man, I stood up and looked.
Oh,
Let me tell you, I'm sitting there waiting.
She didn't poop,
They
guys.
they take her in to go do everything, and they're like, "Wait right here, we'll come and get you." And they make me sit in a wheelchair, so I don't pass out because I understood once I got into the room why I'm in a wheelchair.
yeah.
Because
They probably had like the curtain around and stuff,
dude,
right?
crazy. So they put me in between these 2 doors, and I'm just waiting. And in one door, there's a woman pregnant, and in the other one, same thing, and they're screaming. Giving birth, I'm pretty sure, just screaming, both of them. And I'm sitting there, and they're both right here, like speakers in my ears. And I'm like, oh my God, like I was freaking out inside them. And then they just came to get me, and they wheeled me in, and I saw her, and I started crying. It was crazy.
Crying because you were happy or
Happy, yeah.
So
It was
wait.
not- and then when you hear the first cry,
Oh, so he was out already at that point.
No, they're doing the operation.
So how'd you see it?
They prep her first, and then they brought me in.
But how did you see, like
I stood up.
Why?
I just wanted to see it.
You wanted to see it?
I wanted to. I thought I wanted to.
Was it disgusting?
Holy crap, man.
So, like, her whole stomach was cut open.
With a human in it.
You saw you saw Alec in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I stood up. I went. I didn't stand up again. And then I heard his cry, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, what was that
It's
like?
amazing.
What did you feel?
Undescribable. Just, your life changes.
Yeah.
Changes.
You're
right there.
responsible for another.
It's like your life before that kid doesn't exist. It's a distant memory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand, but like.
It's crazy.
This is one of those things where
It's
like.
unexplainable.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like I said before, it's one of those things where like you explain it like it's the best thing ever, and I'll never understand until it happens.
Yeah, you won't understand until it happens. Yeah, you will.
Wow.
You will, though.
I think I'll be a cool dad.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Wow,
Best thing ever. It's the
being a
best
dad,
thing ever.
It's your favorite thing.
Favorite
Oh, you
thing
love
of
your
all
kid.
time.
You
It's
love
be-
your kids.
Best
too.
thing ever.
Yeah. So right after that, you guys get right to it after she's healed up and she's pregnant again. How soon after?
I think 4 months.
That's
5 months?
insane. Now, were you trying for number 2 or it just happened?
Oh, that just happened. It is what it is.
And were you like this one?
We were good with it.
Yeah, you were probably all right. We've
We
been
were
through
like,
this
we're
before.
going to get a girl.
And then you got a boy.
And we got a boy, and I was like, we got another boy.
Yeah. Max probably just like, since you already been through everything with Alec, Max was probably just like,
We were more prepared, but it was a different experience because we had a different doctor this time.
this one didn't pop the.
We had a different hospital, St. Peter's. That was not the best experience.
Not as nice as the other place.
Yeah.
But so like,
We were like cattle
where were you when her water broke this time?
at home.
Oh, so it happened the right way.
Oh, yeah. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. She woke me up. She's like, it's happening. I was like, oh, and then you just jump up.
Psst, Marat.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I had to wake up Alec, get him to my mom's. Doggy.
Doggies bark. So yeah, then baby number 2 comes out, and you're like, now I'm a dad of 2. This is sick.
Yeah.
You're like, now there's 2 of them. Oh,
Yeah, it was
shit.
pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a little. I was a little nervous because I got to leave for work, and now she's got 2 babies.
Yeah.
So I was worried about my oldest.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, they're like 1 year apart.
Yeah.
That's
a little
crazy.
over a year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
14, 15 months.
You're a good dad, though.
Hell yeah.
I think you're a great dad.
Thank
You love your kids.
Thank you.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes. I just need you to tell this story here because you told it before. But again, we rebranded the podcast. There's new people here that probably haven't seen previous episodes. So Marat got arrested once for crack
And heroin.
and heroin. Now, you don't have to say the name of the place you were working, of course.
Oh, it doesn't exist anymore anyway.
Okay, well, all right. Tell me the story like you're telling it to me for the first time. You're telling it
boy.
now. This is a great one, guys, so buckle
I'll
up.
never forget this.
Tell it from beginning to end. I won't even interrupt you.
So I was working at this dealership, and we had this manager that had a problem. He was like locking himself in the bathroom and shooting up, and they gave him a lot of chances, helped him with rehab, and eventually they drug tested him. They said if he tests positive, we're done. They drug tested him. He tested positive. They were done with him. I guess they let him, get his stuff together and like move and all that, but then they were done. But at the same time that this was happening, I was moving from one apartment to another. So I asked my boss if I could borrow one of the box trucks. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. He's like, oh, here, use this one. He throws me the keys. So I go in and I go into the truck, open the door, and I look to my left, and there's like a spoon with like a paper towel wrapped around it. So I'm thinking somebody had some yogurt, some cereal, So I get in, grab the truck, go meet my buddies. It's the first time I'm meeting my friend's cousin. Great guy. And, we were having a good time. They were helping me move. And then we were done with everything finally. And we go to pull into my parents' house where everybody had their cars parked. And as soon as we pull in, I get pulled over by state troopers. And here we go. Little trooper comes up, short guy. Had like the whole Napoleon complex. And he goes, had anything to drink tonight? And I said, and I just laugh. I go, I don't drink, sir. I said, I'm just moving my stuff. They're helping me, and that's it. And we're just about done. He goes, well, you got a headlight out. I said, yeah, I understand. I said, it's not my truck. It's my boss's truck. I just borrowed it for the night. And he goes, I think you've been drinking tonight. I need you to step out of the vehicle. So now I'm like, come on. So he has me step out. He gives me the sobriety test, does everything. I'm obviously sober. And then he goes, anything I need to know about in the truck? Because I'm going to search it. And I go ahead, man. The truck's empty. It's not mine. Everything that's in there is not mine now. So he goes, all right, well, you got one chance. And I said, yeah, there's nothing in there. So he's like, all right. So he starts searching. I'm waiting. We're just standing there. It's kind of cold. And next thing you know, he comes out, and I see him grab gloves. And he starts, stretching. I'm like, oh, some serious gloves right there. So he goes in, and he's in there for a little while, wrestling around with stuff. And next thing you know, he comes over to me, and he goes, anything you want to tell me about? I said, no, not at all. I already told you. Everything's gone. It's not my stuff. You sure? You got one more chance. Anything you want to tell me about? I said, no, man. And he goes, so you don't want to tell me about the heroin and the crack and the needles? I said, what? Are you freaking kidding me? So I go, hey, listen, man, I'm not Frank Lucas. You're not going to sit here and try to make me incriminate myself. And he's like, oh, yeah, you don't believe me, scumbag? And he slams me up against the truck. He drags me over, and there it is. It's all laid out. There's some heroin, some crack, some needles, and some spoons that were burnt.
This must have been hidden well in the car.
Oh yeah, I didn't search. I think it was in the vents.
And I mean, you probably weren't borrowing this truck looking through everything.
Yeah, why would I take the vents apart? I just think I'm borrowing a truck and moving.
Yeah, right.
So of course he looked. I'm like, that's not mine. And he's like, yeah, okay, I haven't heard that one before. So I of course get arrested and costs me. And I'm looking. I'm like, my life's over, man. I can't believe I'm going down for shit that I've never done. Are you kidding me right now? So he starts to realize that it's not mine. I'm chained to his desk, and I'm not scratching myself because I'm fiending. You know what I mean? So he's like, look, man, you're going to get out. If it's not yours, they're going to figure it out. And I hear my mom come in because my buddies told my mom, so she rushes to the trooper barracks. And I hear her out there, and she's like, where's my son? Where's my son? And they're going, ma'am, he's arrested right now. We're processing him. You can talk to him in a little while. And she's like, what did he get arrested for? Some pot? And they go, pot? No, he had heroin and crack. And she started laughing. She's like, are you kidding me? Look at him. He's so pudgy. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, my mom. So that happens. I sit in the police station. I pay bail, and I get out.
How much was your bail?
Well, I had $400 in my pocket.
Oh, so they're like, they'll take anything you can
So
get.
they made it $400.
Yeah.
So I posted the $400 bail. And, yeah, that looked good, too. I had cash in my pocket, so I looked like a freaking drug dealer. And so I'm late for work because we worked on Sundays at this place. And so I got out 7 a.m., something like that.
So you didn't even sleep.
And work's at 11 o'clock. So I was an hour late, and I come in, and he's like, all right, everybody. And there was no customers.
Wait, you got out at 7 a.m., but work's at 11? How are you late?
Well, dude, I slept in.
Okay, you slept. I was going to say, you didn't sleep? Jesus.
I didn't wake up on time.
Of course you got to sleep a little bit.
So it's like, what's this guy going to say to me?
Yeah.
So I was ready to go.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care, I'll be late.
Yeah, are you kidding me? So, and because I called him a lot that night, and he never picked up. So I'm in there, and he gathers all the salespeople. Goes, here we go. Here he is, superstar salesman. Why are you late this time, Marat? Give me the excuse. And I'm like, you want to know why? I stand up, I go, because last night I got arrested for heroin and crack in your truck. And his face, he was just like, what? And everyone goes, what? And then he's like, everyone back to work. Marat, come with me right now. We go into the office. He's like, I'm so sorry, because we obviously know whose shit it is. Everybody knows whose it is. And he's like, I'm going to get you out of this. I promise. I'm so sorry. Go home and relax. Don't worry.
Sleep.
Yeah. So, I went home, and my mom made me get this lawyer, and I was like, I don't like this guy. And I told him, I said, I'm not taking a plea. I'm not doing it. And so the first court date, we go, and they're like, he's like, great deal. You got like 2 years probation and 26 hours community service. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm not taking it. Not pleading guilty to anything. So I go back to Pete. I tell the judge, I go, I'll get a drug test, and I'll show you I don't have any of that stuff in my system. I promise you. He said, okay, go ahead and bring that back. So I schedule the next court date. I go and tell my boss, I go, I need a lawyer. He goes, all right, I got you covered. So the second court date comes, and I'm sitting there, and I'm so nervous. And then all of a sudden, and this guy's late, and the court's packed, and I'm just sitting on the bench outside the courtroom. All of a sudden, this big dude, big Italian guy, he's like 6'8" or something, beautiful suit, comes in and walks up to me. He goes, you Marat? Yeah. He goes, I'll be right back. And he just beelines it for the judge, walks over. He's like, I'm looking. I'm like, oh, my God. This guy turns around, walks over to me, goes, go see the judge. And he just leaves. No idea what his name is.
Doesn't even wait for you, just leaves.
Just leaves. Goes see the judge. He's out of there.
So you go and see the judge.
Yeah, right away. Like, I skipped everybody, and judge apologized. He's just like, I apologize. Sorry you had to go through this. Officer was just doing his job. We understand it's not yours. You're all set.
And that's it. Boom.
That's it. And I was out. Couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
All right. Now I did notice when you walked in here that you're wearing a "Whose Game Is It" shirt.
Yeah.
So LA Night.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Me and Marat are big wrestling fans. We go to a lot of local shows together.
It's a lot of fun.
It's actually one of the biggest things we have in common. We've been front row to WWE, AEW, and TNA,
Yes.
which is awesome.
And we flew to Chicago.
And we did fly to Chicago for All Out. Wrestling shows are just an experience, and I'm a great heckler, Marat says.
Yes. Yeah. Phenomenal. Part of the show.
I talk a lot of shit to the wrestlers.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Marat, as a fellow wrestling fan here, what got you into wrestling? Like, how did you actually first become a wrestling fan? I got into it because my dad liked it, so it was easy for me to get into it. But
It was right around the time Mike Tyson was in his prime, and it was you were ordering every pay-per-view, and what was happening was sometimes we wouldn't watch it live. We would get a cassette tape, a VHS, and a few times what started happening is we'd have the Tyson fight and then wrestling on the same tape, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was starting to do his thing, and everyone knows in pop culture how big Austin was.
of course.
So, Austin made me gravitate towards it, and I just loved it ever since.
So if you had a Mike Tyson fight and wrestling on the same tape, was it like switching back and forth? Or like...
No. So, like, the fight would be on, and then right after that fight ends, it would go to, like, Raw or, like,
Oh, so it was like a 2-in-1 type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Because the Tyson fight was 32 seconds.
So you saw Stone Cold, you're like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. You just see this guy, like, raise hell, and it's like, whoa.
Smash
And it was right when I started to understand pop culture a little bit.
Sure.
So
How old were you?
I'd say 9.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then your dad also used to be like a limo driver, right? And
Oh, yeah.
He drove some wrestlers around too.
Yeah, absolutely. That was incredible.
Was this before the Stone Cold thing or like
It was
right around the same
while it
time?
was going on.
Oh, okay. So then
Yeah.
that would be really cool. So
Yeah.
tell me about that.
Yeah, so it was this company called ECW. A lot of people know what ECW is. But this guy, Paul Heyman, Paulie Dangerously,
Yep.
he had Francine. She was also a character, his valet. And he was, the boss of the company. And so we were my dad had him as a client, and we would drive him around when they would bring ECW to Schenectady. And I would always sit with my dad, and it was just incredible. So I'd watch it on TV, and just what an experience. And he just always went out of his way to have the production crew come and grab me and tell me where to go in the arena to get the best part of the match. He'd tell me, go to the concession stand for this one. Not him, but like he'd have people come and get me.
Yeah.
Go to the concession stand for this match. And they'd be fighting all around the concession stand. Then he's like, all right, go front row. You're going to be right. They'd come and get me, and they'd put me front row. And I watched Tajiri put Rhino through a table, and then they give me a piece of the table.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like he was just so great.
Wow, that's incredible.
He didn't act bothered by me. He wasn't annoyed because I was like staring at him in the limo. Like,
And they're like, wow.
yeah, it was incredible. I got to meet all the wrestlers. It was ECW it was for the fans.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Just like AEW is for the fans.
Yeah, they try to be.
I don't know what you got.
It's too much for the fans.
What do you mean it's too much for
You
the
gotta have a
fans?
story.
AEW has a story.
I get it. Like, I get it. There's a lot of like, you're no selling DDTs and stuff. Like,
It's
okay,
strong style.
you
bro.
did a flip. I get it.
Oh my.
I love it. But like, after the match, where are you going with the wrestlers?
You know, AEW making it like having a whole second league like this provided so many jobs
For sure.
people.
No, I hope AEW succeeds. It's just I don't like the direction right now.
2 years ago, Marat was all WWE stinks. I love,
Yeah, it was
I love
bad.
WWE, but it has kind of flipped. WWE
Yeah,
is definitely on the rise.
WWE's as good as it's ever been right now.
I mean, the Attitude Era was pretty sick.
For sure.
When I was a kid, and like,
That's what got me into it. Was storytelling.
yeah, I mean, the stories back then were great
Yeah.
too. But I liked like the hardcore matches and stuff too.
Yeah.
But like back when I was a kid too, to play off like the Attitude Era and stuff, like if I was in bed before school at night and my dad knew I was watching Monday Night Raw,
Yeah.
he'd be watching in his room too, and like a bra and panties match would come on, and my dad would go, "Turn off your TV." I didn't turn that shit off. I just hit the mute button.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mad funny. But actually, you know, do I know who your favorite wrestler of all time is? Let me guess.
It's
No,
changed now. It used to be.
Wait, hold on. I mean, you might have a favorite wrestler now, but I'm talking all time, or that's changed. Okay, you know what? Tell me who he. Oh, wait, now is it a current person?
It changed me because of who he is now.
Ooh, so this is your previous favorite of all time?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was easy because of who he
I
is.
want
now.
him to retire.
Yeah, me too. He's one. I mean, yeah, he's up there in like my top 5.
I just think he's holding some guys back in AEW right now.
Absolutely. I mean, he's definitely been.
I don't like
wrestling
the
way too long.
constant stables of worship.
Do you like the
Jericho.
older like Y2J, like Codebreaker?
That was my
Codebreaker.
favorite.
What, Codebreaker or Y2J?
Y2J?
Codebreaker Jericho was my favorite. When he returned and had the short hair, I thought that was so sick.
Yeah, I didn't watch it a lot during that. I went away from wrestling for a while.
Me too. From
I was
like
back recently.
from like 2010 to like 2016, I was kind of like
Yeah.
iffy. But so you have a new favorite wrestler of all time now?
Yeah, now I just put Stone Cold there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
Kind of basic and generic, but
It's just the memories.
Like you-
live. They used to bring excellent shows to Albany.
if you asked a wrestling fan who wasn't a wrestling fan, like, hey, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Oh, Stone Cold.
Yeah, but those guys, they're like your age, and they didn't grow up like.
I grew
Well,
up with
Sto-
Stone Cold.
Kinda. You grew up with Jeff Hardy as your champion. I grew up
With
with.
Jeff Hardy's my I started watching wrestling like 2000, bro.
Okay. You were a little young though.
I was very young. I started watching wrestling when I was like 5, dude. My dad used to bring me to these local independent shows in Hudson Falls.
Oh wow.
And that they would pack out.
I love it.
Up. It'd be full.
love
Whatever,
it.
however the hell you say that. Do you know who my favorite wrestler of all time is?
Yours is Shawn Michaels as well, right? Yeah.
Of course. That's easy. I say that all the time.
Yeah. It's a great one.
Oh, of course. I mean, Mr. WrestleMania, which is wild that they call him Mr. WrestleMania because he's like I'm pretty sure he has a negative WrestleMania record,
Yeah.
and he hasn't really been champion much.
It's like RVD. RVD's Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View. You know,
That's true.
man, he was incredible. I love how in ECW back in the day, he was never the world champion, only the TV champion.
See, I think he deserved a world championship.
But it was just for his story, it just made so much sense.
Some people don't need it.
He didn't want it. He wanted to be the TV champion.
Right.
And he treated it like, this is my belt.
Yeah, okay.
It's cool.
I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, some people definitely don't need it. Like, I'm trying to think of someone now who's been like a mid-carder. Oh, like Dolph Ziggler. Okay, he's been world champion twice, but for very short runs.
Yeah. Jack Swagger was
It might have
champion.
been one. Was it once or twice? I'm pretty sure it was twice.
Twice.
It was twice, right?
Yeah.
But like very short runs. Everyone looks at him as a mid-carder, but he's a future Hall of Famer.
I mean, sure. Mid-Carders are Hall of Famers, too.
I mean, you're not arguing with me that Dolph Ziggler is going to be in the Hall of Fame, right?
Dolph Ziggler deserves it for all the work he put in.
Of course.
And
Okay.
he was there for a long time.
Oh my God, yeah, and that's almost like trying to think of. I mean, you look at people like the New Day. 2 of them have been champion, but Xavier Woods probably will never be champion. But they're going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Did you ever buy their bootios? Remember when they had the cereal?
No.
Or were you not watching wrestling?
I don't think I was really watching a lot.
So they they had this whole thing like calling people booty and stuff. And
I think I remember this.
They came out with the cereal Bootios.
Bootios.
And they even had like an entrance at WrestleMania where the box like poured over.
I remember that.
Yeah. So these Bootios, you couldn't get them at the grocery store. You could get them at FYE, and they were $16.99. But I bought them.
Wow.
And
Were they good?
I said forever I wasn't going to eat them. I was going to keep them in the box just so they would like be worth
Flutie
something.
Flakes.
Yeah, I ate them one night. I got the munchies.
Were they good though?
Overrated and extremely overpriced. But whatever, it is what it is.
Bootios.
Bootios. As they would say something, then you ain't booty. I don't know. They had some fucking slogan. But all right, another thing I want to ask you quick. You brought this up right before we started the podcast. You were talking about a documentary that you wanted to talk about faking the moon landing. That's what that was?
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet.
You see how his eyes lit up there?
Yeah.
So, is it out?
I think so. I think it just came out. It's just very interesting.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it makes sense why they would fake it.
Why?
Because we were in a technology. We were in a space race with Russia, Soviet Union.
Right.
And they just put out Sputnik, so we had to respond. We couldn't lose to them in an optics war.
What's Sputnik?
Sputnik was the first manned satellite, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know if it was manned. It might have just been a satellite.
So we were like, oh, we got to go to the moon.
Yeah. And it just, a lot of it is just,
I've seen.
I know it's a crazy conspiracy, but it's there's legitimate facts about it now.
Oh, I mean, I love conspiracy theories, bro. But like,
You know?
so like, I've seen stuff that shows like, I say like a lot. I got to stop saying like. Jesus.
It's like those reality show people. Like, I really like.
I know.
love
I
you,
say
but
it so much. I go back and watch and edit this. I'm like. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Chase. Jesus. Anyway, so I saw like. So I saw these images on Facebook, and they were talking about the moon landing being fake.
Yeah.
And it showed a picture of like. Fuck it, like. They showed a picture of the moon landing, and the shadows like didn't line up with how the sun was.
Yeah.
Like one shadow was this way, and the other one was this way. So that was kind of weird. But I mean, that could be photoshopped or AI at this point. No one knows all the images and stuff that come out.
We don't know, man.
We have no idea.
You know, and there's people that are purists that are like, "Oh, are you kidding me? They wouldn't fake that. They wouldn't do that." But I don't. I believe in the conspiracies.
So we allegedly took a couple trips to the moon. But if we didn't fake the moon landing and stuff like that, why haven't we been back?
So one of my theories is we faked that moon landing that they showed on the news and showed on television for everybody, and made it this phenomenal thing, one step for man and all that stuff. I think we might have went there before that, and something might have happened, and they were like, and somebody said,
Or after that?
maybe something happened, and they're like, oh, we cannot go here again.
Well, there's that.
Maybe there's life up there. Who knows?
There's that conspiracy theory of where something along the lines of they landed and they like caught some audio or something where someone's like either screaming or like, "Don't look at that," or
Who knows?
I'm gonna look this up quick. Hold on.
It's very interesting. It's fun to speculate.
We have some explanation for that. We have none. Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something that was fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger, we know about that. Could you go the other way? Go back the other way.
Is that Buzz Lightyear?
Well, that's kind of rigged. Pretty spectacular. My God. What is that there? That's a hollow. What the hell is that? Don't tango. Tango. There's kind of light there now. Roger, we got it. We've marked it. Lose communication. Bravo Tango. Bravo Tango. Select Jezebel. Jezebel. Yeah. But this is unbelievable. We're going off. Bravo Tango. Bravo.
So they were telling him to go away. They're like, yeah, basically like, yeah, we know, turn back around. But the guy was like, wow, there's light. This is amazing. What is this? Like, there's all these rumors about like the dark side of the moon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how believable that is, I don't know.
Who knows?
But I mean, that's been on the internet forever.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, I remember when government legitimately covered up aliens in Albany at the airport.
What?
And it's so weird, and I hope something happens to me. I'm not suicidal.
Oh, God.
I'll never forget this. My sister and my father are working at the airport, Albany Airport, and there's this thing called a rod, and I don't know if it's alien or what, but they're these objects that are rod shaped, and they can go like supersonic speed. And what happened is one of these things like flew by the runway, and it was just like chaos. And I'll never forget, because I was like 10, 11 years old, and it was like a big thing, so I remember it.
So you were there.
I was at home. My sister and my dad were there, and I remember they called, and they were like, hey, we're not going to be home for a little while. We're not allowed to leave. Like, nobody can leave. Nobody can come in. And, like, they shut it down. They had snipers on the roof, they said. And, like, there was just government shut down. And I remember Fox 23 was the only channel that reported on it. And you used to be able to look. I think I found it before recently, but they had this one video, and it was a rod, and it was flying, and they had a video of it. And then all of a sudden, nobody remembers it. Nobody remembers it. My sister vaguely remembers it. I remember it vividly.
What about your dad? Does he remember it?
I don't think so, no. He's like, huh? And it's just so weird. I remember it.
Maybe they got like Men in Black.
And you can Google this. It's online.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe they got like Men in Black zipped. Like, bzz.
It was something. It was strange. I'll never forget this.
That gives me goosebumps.
That's a real thing. I'm not just like making it up.
Are you sure you didn't have like a dream, bro?
I swear.
How do you know for
swear
sure?
to you, I know 100% because I've seen the video multiple times. I've Googled it multiple times. I've read about the things.
Dude, this episode's gonna go live tomorrow, and then you're gonna like be dead Friday morning.
I know.
They're coming for you, dude.
But it's okay. No one's going to look at this and be like, the guy wearing the LA night shirt
Yeah,
knows
I
it
know.
all.
I know, right? Jeez, that's crazy.
I swear that's real, though.
I mean, I believe you. I have no reason not to.
Crazy.
But my dad would say that's hearsay.
Yeah, I guess that's my hearsay.
Yeah, technically.
But for me, it's my reality.
Maybe they're pulling like a prank on you.
I don't think so.
Have you seen those government pranks that you put on YouTube about like a nuclear war happening? And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Dude, I want to do that to one of my family members so bad. That shit's so funny.
Yeah.
I wonder if Sarah's seen it. You should do it to your wife. You think you'd get her?
What's that?
You think you'd get her? You think she'd fall for it?
Oh, yeah.
I think older people are easier though.
For sure.
If I did it to my grandma though, that'd be too much.
No, don't do that to your grandma.
I know, that poor woman. That'd be the reason she kicks the bucket.
Think about what she's been through. When was she born? Like
Oh my
30s?
God, 1931. My
Dude.
grandpa was born 1929.
So she was born during the Great Depression.
Yeah,
So she was growing up during World War II.
yeah.
She went through. She's a part of the greatest generation of all time.
Oh, they saw everything, dude. They got the
Everything.
Beatles, man.
Dude, and then now they're seeing fucking COVID, 9/11.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandma was just telling me the other day.
She was alive. She remembers both Pearl Harbor and 9/11.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude. She was just telling me the other day, like, she'd go out with her friends until like 2:00 in the morning, take the subway home, and it was fine. Like walking
Yeah.
down the streets by herself, no one ever gave an issue. You can't
Right.
do that shit nowadays.
Yeah, you can't.
Dude, they've seen TVs like go from black.
It's a
and
shame
white
because
to
other
color.
countries you can. Like there's
Yeah.
no place is perfect, but like if you're in Albania, like Albanian women can just like walk home, I guess, just no
Yeah.
problem in their country. There's a lot of countries like that where
Well, I mean, it's not even just countries; it's certain cities and stuff too. Like where I live, I could walk down the street and be
oh
fine with
sure,
everybody. Cause
but it's all culture. It's culture.
yeah, for sure. And like
What's the culture of the city?
it's scary, crime stuff like that. And
Yeah.
they grew up in the city, man. They literally grew up in New York City, but moved here in like the '80s. So
New York City's tough, man. Sometimes it's tough there.
for sure, man. What are we gonna see in our lifetime? Holy shit!
We've already seen so much too.
I hope we see aliens. I say it all the time. I think it'd be cool.
Oh well, here's the thing: are they going to be aliens?
I mean, there's other conspiracies that they're already here and they're people.
I think-
they're
yeah,
people. Like
yeah.
you could be an alien. You could be tricking me right
I
now.
wish.
That's what something.
I would have already told you. I would have been like, dude, check this out. Reptilian.
Somebody who was an alien would say, "I wish." That's pretty fucking.
I don't have the reptilian jawline though.
You have a beard. Can't see your jawline.
Ooh, good one.
He's a fucking alien. Get the fuck out of here. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, folks, I think that's all the time we have this week. I say this week, but I mean, I don't even know if I'll see you next week because I post these things whenever I want. But I am going to try to post more for sure. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, my boy, Marat Lozhkin, a.k.a. Marinuch, for joining me here in the garage on this ride of Choo Choo. Oh, wait, didn't you... Real quick. What's your middle name? Didn't you have like a...
Don't have one.
Yeah, but I thought you had...
Technically, it would be Vladimirovich.
That's what I wanted. What is it?
Vladimirovich.
Sukabliad.
Sukabliad.
All right, folks. Well, again, anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you when I see it, nerds.